Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Safe Zone podcast. Welcome to our last episode of season 1. Woo-hoo! Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. I created this podcast to be a safe space for y'all, for my clients to be able to connect with me outside of sessions, for anyone, whether clients or not, to be able to get access to information that we need. Information that, quite frankly, school should have taught us about a long time ago. In this podcast, you learn about yourself, you learn about other people, you learn about psychology, you learn about mental health, and this episode falls in a line. This episode 11, our last episode of season 1, is mind, body, and soul self-care. Why did I choose this episode? I chose this episode because, one, we have a giveaway, our first Christmas giveaway. I set a goal this year to have our first Christmas giveaway, and it is happening. So our giveaway is running right now. So if you are listening to this episode before the 19th of December 2026, go and join our giveaway. We are doing a cozy Christmas self-care giveaway, and that giveaway is mental health focused, of course, and it's a whole bunch of stuff. You have aromatherapy, axe throwing, you get mugs, you get coffee, you get matcha, you get massages, you get gym membership. The list goes on and on and on. So to complement our giveaway focused on self-care, we are talking about self-care today. For those that are interested in entering our giveaway, go on to our page, safe_zone_BOLTD. On Instagram, you will see our post. It's a green and brown in color. And of course, it says Cozy Christmas Self-Care Giveaway. You have to like the post, you have to follow our page, and you also have to follow any 3 of our many beautiful, amazing sponsors. That's 1 entry. If you want to get a second entry, share it on your Instagram story. And if you want a 3rd entry, comment on that post and tell us what is your favorite self-care habit. Second reason why I chose mind, body, soul, self-care as a topic, I think that we need a more realistic expectation of self-care. Because we have this thought that self-care is fun and enjoyable, that it's stupidly expensive, that it is a waste of time, it delays our goals, etc. We also think that everyone's going to be like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, self-care and taking care of yourself, when that's not really how they respond. So I want to give you all a more realistic expectation of self-care, the journey of self-care, a more realistic framework and approach to self-care as well, because there's also this 10-step routine that the average adult person, teenager, anybody that has a life doesn't always have time for. And I also wanted to create this episode to give you all a variety of options. We often have a very limited perspective as to what self-care can be, and a lot of our self-care habits are focused on the body. So gym, facials, those types of things, and we neglect other key parts of ourselves that need have special needs, So I want to give you all a couple more examples of options of self-care that are inexpensive and may better suit your personality, to give you some more variety when you want to take care of yourself. Yeah? What to expect within this episode: we're going to talk about what is self-care. We're going to talk about some truths behind self-care. So we're going to debunk a couple myths. We're also going to talk about self-care for the body, self-care for the mind, self-care for the soul. I'm going to give you all about 3 options for each one of those aspects of you. And as usual, I always want to give you all tips to help you all apply what we learned in this episode. So we're going to do some tips as to how to incorporate more self-care into your routine. At the end, if you've been here before, we always end off with a mindful moment. I am a meditator. I didn't even introduce myself. Check me out. So just accustomed to hear. My name is Brittney, and I'm a mental health guidance specialist, and I'm a meditation guide. Being a meditation guide, I cannot help but snag a little opportunity to help you all calm the body and bring the mind into the mindful present moment. So at the end, we're going to do a little mindful moment, and then we're going to call it an episode and call it a season. So we're going to start off. What is self-care? Self-care is you meeting your needs. You have needs. Whether you neglect them or not, you have needs. You're a human being with a mind that has needs, with a body that has needs, and with a soul that has needs. Yes, there's a soul. There's something that when we quiet the mind and we still the body, there's something else in there. Yeah? So, self care is how we meet our own needs. A lot of people neglect their needs and tend to everybody else's needs and then get upset with everybody not tending to their needs. But they don't have an obligation to tend to your needs. You are the only person that has an obligation to tend to your own needs. Yeah? So, self care is how we tend to our needs, not our wants. Needs, which means they are a necessity. Self-care is also a preemptive approach to stress management. We know stress is a thing. At any age, at any stage, at any point of your journey, there was stress. Stress changed and it looked different, and the amount of stress probably varied, but there's always a level of stress because there are lots of factors that are outside of our control. We interact with different people, we fulfill many different life roles. So self-care takes a preemptive approach, whereas coping and coping mechanisms take a more reactive approach. I did a whole other episode on coping mechanisms, episode 5. So I'm not going to talk about coping mechanisms. In that episode, we spoke a little bit about stress. We spoke about the healthy versus unhealthy coping mechanisms, explained what each one was, and also gave some popular examples of coping mechanisms, both healthy and unhealthy. And we also slightly touched on self-care. So we are going more into self-care today. So also last thing on what is self-care. Self-care is how we maintain ourselves, how we nourish ourselves, and again, how we increase our tolerance for stress. Self-care is stress management. If you have all this stress and you are doing nothing to manage the stress, of course you're going to crumble. Of course you're going to feel reactive. Of course you're going to have amount of patience, lots and lots of emotional outbursts, whether outbursts or shutdowns, either one, right? So self-care is how we manage stress, is how we maintain our optimal operation, and it's how we nourish and take care of ourselves. You know, they have this saying where humans are plants but with emotions. If you neglect a plant, you don't water it enough, you don't give it nutrients, you don't give it sunlight, you don't give it its basic needs, you cannot expect that plant to look amazing, fantastic, healthy, bear fruits or flowers. Same with a human. If you neglect those needs, you are not going to be your best self. And it's not just about not being your best self, you're going to be not so nice of a version of yourself. Yeah? Some truths behind self-care. First truth, everyone is going to support you and no one is going to give you any pushback. Wrong. Not everyone is going to support you. A lot of us go into self-care when we decide to turn a new leaf and take care of ourselves and prioritize ourselves and do good things for ourselves. We think that the people around us are going to be like, good job, I support you. Sure, no problem. You don't want to lie now? You want to spend a night in? Sure, I understand. Oh, I want to vent to you right now, but you don't have the capacity and you don't want to talk right now? I understand. It's no problem. That's not really how it goes down. So first truth, you are not going to get as much support as you think you're going to get. You're going to get support from the people that take care of themselves. The people that neglect themselves are the people that are going to be pushing back on your boundaries, on your self-care routines. For two reasons. Again, they're going to internalize it as a rejection. A lot of people can't deal with rejection. A lot of people can't deal with people setting boundaries with them. But also, it's a slight kind of, a projection type of defense thing that kicks in because you actually taking care of yourself and prioritizing yourself kind of highlights to them how much they are neglecting themselves, and they kind of more mad with themselves, but they project it onto you. So you're not going to get as much support as you think you're going to get, and you are going to get a lot of pushback. So you are going to have to learn how to set boundaries. You're going to have to learn how to sit in guilt and move past it, and not use guilt as a reason to step back on your boundaries. Yeah, so emotional intelligence, assertiveness, those are skills you're going to have to learn. Another truth about self-care, it is not a waste of your time. It is not an unproductive use of your time. It does not delay you achieving your goals and objectives, and it should not be less priority than other obligations. You not self-caring is probably going to guarantee you shutting down, getting sick, crashing, being very difficult to work with, or be in a relationship with or friendship with. And that is going to delay your goals. Versus stopping, taking care of yourself, refueling. If you don't put gas in a car, it's going to shut down. Yeah? So it is not a waste of time. It is not you being unproductive. You have a responsibility as a human. We are not robots. So we have a responsibility to rest, to slow down, and we need to take care of our basic needs. So this touches on last episode on those 7 keys for mental health. Without key ingredients in our self-care routine, you are not going to be operating optimally. And at some point, the body is going to win. And you're going to shut down at a lot more less convenient time than if you were to prioritize self-care. Self-care, yes, it benefits you, and sometimes is made to seem like a selfish thing. But self-care benefits you initially. But when you have a lot more patience, you're not angry with everybody else, you're not tripping off on everybody else, you're not shutting down, you're not being impatient, when you can actually tolerate a lot more stress, everybody wins. So self-care is both an internal benefit as well as an external benefit. It's a benefit to you, internal, and it's a benefit to the people that you interact with, and the things, the roles that you fulfill, and the responsibilities that you have, because you show up a lot better. So everyone wins with self-care. Self-care is not expensive. There are self-care habits that are expensive, 1000%, but there aren't only expensive options for self-care, right? You can choose. If you don't have the budget to afford expensive classes or expensive products or expensive routines and activities, etc., it costs you nothing to take a couple deep breaths. It costs you nothing to drink some water. It costs you nothing to put your screen down. Yeah, some of the examples that we're going to touch on in a little bit. So self-care doesn't always have to be expensive, so don't use that as an excuse. And lastly, self-care is not very comfortable all the time. Self-care for the mind sometimes brings up a lot of uncomfortable thoughts and emotions. Self-care for the body sometimes requires you to put your body under some strain. Yeah? Self-care for the soul sometimes requires some very uncomfortable realizations, or just sitting in stillness, which isn't always comfortable. Yeah? So self-care is not always comfortable, but discomfort isn't always a bad thing. Yeah? So again, I'm going to throw a little reminder that the first episode of this podcast in season 1 was on good discomfort, and it spoke a lot about the importance of being able to tolerate discomfort if you want to grow and you want to transform something. If you always run away from discomfort and you have no capacity for discomfort, you are not going to grow, you are not going to thrive, you're not going to make healthy choices, because some healthy choices ain't very comfortable. But the difference between bad discomfort and good discomfort, one of the factors is the timeline. So self-care is short pockets of discomfort for the long-term benefit of a lot more comfort. Not taking care of your self-care might provide you with more time to do everything else now, but it's going to come at a cost of discomfort later on. Yeah? So as much as it's uncomfortable, it's a short-term and temporary discomfort for a big benefit. Yeah? Okay. We're going to give you examples of self-care habits. So we're going to start with our body first. So you have a body that has particular needs. Now, in a private therapy session, I'm going to give you lots and lots and lots of options for body self-care. For a podcast episode that I don't want to make 1,000,000 minutes, I'm going to give you 3 key ones. Number 1, your breathing. Using your breath as a tool for mindfulness, which is a tool to help your mind come into the present moment, is so accessible. If I tell you that I have a particular podcast that's going to help calm your mind, or I have a fidget spinner that's going to help calm your mind, or there's a particular location, your safe space location that's going to calm your mind, you need those things accessible, or you need to be there. Whereas every moment of every day, you are breathing. We are doing it autopilot, but if you switch your breath to a more mindful, intentional, that you are paying attention to your inhales and exhales and manipulating your inhales and exhales and guiding your inhales properly in through your nose into your belly and inflating your belly versus breathing in your nose and inflating your chest alone, or breathing through your mouth and spiking your anxiety. Inhaling through your nose into your belly activates something called a vagus nerve, and that is a whole episode that I spoke about. This vagus nerve helps calm your nervous system. It switches it into the calm side, the parasympathetic nervous system, and it starts to undo everything triggers do. It starts to reduce your heart rate, reduce your breathing rate, reduce your body temperature. Put back saliva into your dry, anxious mouth. Put back digestive fluids into your lack of appetite, queasy stomach. Simply activating your vagus nerve. And one way that you can do that is by breathing into your belly. So where breath is concerned, 3 key things. Inhale through your nose into your belly. Extending your exhales. The longer that you can extend your exhales, making your exhales even 1, 2, 3 or more seconds longer than your inhales, the more calm you're going to bring into your body. So inhale through your nose into your belly, extended exhales, and they're breathing techniques that incorporate holds in your breath. So like square breathing is an inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and repeat. There are other breathing techniques like 4, 7, 8, where there's an inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8 seconds. And there are other less formal breathing techniques where you inhale for 3, let's say, you hold for 2, and you exhale for 4 or 5. So the exhales are always trying to be longer than your inhales, and even a little pause in your hold of your breath. Buddhists believe that thought requires oxygen. And when you block off oxygen, you can't think. So this is also why sports like swimming is very mindful. Far more for like deep diving, like those divers. Like I could just imagine how quiet their mind is. Because when your body goes into that kind of survival state of, oh my gosh, we have no oxygen, what's going on? It can't think about anything else complex. It goes very silent. So your breath is a big tool for body self-care. So inhales that go into your belly, long exhales and breath holds. Number 2 for body self-care, nature, nature and more nature. I've said it 1,000,000 times, I'll say it again. Looking at the color blue improves your mood. Looking at the color green improves your mood. Hearing the sounds of birds, hearing the sounds of rain falling, hearing a waterfall improves your mood. touching nature, science has proven, calms our body. Even smelling nature, even the scent of a forest is calming for you, and it even boosts your immunity. So immersing yourself in nature is such a reset. Like, I have a lot going on. So like, I have usual work as per usual, so which is in the mental health field. So that's always intense and unpredictable. I also have been coordinating this giveaway with the assistance of my lovely administrative assistant, but it's been a lot. And I took like 2 days away in nature, and I reached to the nature spot that we went thinking, frig this, boy. You see this life thing, boy? Nah, boy. And I left there 2 days later, like, life is worth living. I swear, like, I looked at nature so much. I looked at butterflies, I looked at all the trees around, I listened, I went and touched some ocean water, some salt water, held some rocks, listened to the birds. Yeah, and it helped reset me like nothing else. Yeah, so nature, and more nature, using all the senses: sight, hearing, touch. What other senses am I missing? Smell, and taste. Yeah, nature, fruits, veggies. I don't see why not. And third one for body self-care, detoxes. So they're like detox teas, which help. So they help detox certain organs that you have, your body, your blood, etc. Also movements like twists that you do. So like twists like this, they help squeeze your mid region, squeezes all the organs. And then when you come back out of the twist, fresh blood, fresh fluids. So it helps push out all of the gunk, right? And all fluids. So detoxes, examples, teas, twists. So like stretching classes, yoga, just random twists as well. Tears help detox you. It helps clear out stuff, right? Emotionally. So tears, crying. Also, sweat helps detox you. People that sweat very often have very clean skin and clear skin, because again, your skin is your largest outer organ, right? So sweating helps detox and clear. And so you can do the sweating through like working out, exercising, and also like saunas and stuff like that. And lastly, under detoxing, lymphatic drainage and lymphatic massages. So lymphatic drainage, I'll give like a quick run through. So this is something I do every single day, and I've been doing this for, I think, over a year now. I could be wrong. It could be less than a year. But I've been doing it very regularly every single day, and I've seen such a big difference visually, and I could feel the difference. Okay, so the key what do you call it, boy? Why am I missing the words? Lymph terminals. So key areas where there are majority lymph nodes, and key areas, and your lymphatic system is a system meant to pull out all the gunk in your blood and your fluids, right? So I start off with massaging underneath and above your collarbones. Not too hard, not too soft, with slight pressure. Both sides. Then you go above and below your ears. So again, a little bit of pressure. Then you're going to go underneath your armpits. So you're going to hook into this kind of armpit pit, this area here, as well as the front, because this front area here has a lot of lymph nodes as well. So you're going to hook on under here, and you're massaging and kind of pumping and squeezing. You're also going to do this area here, little massage, and I also add in here. Repeat on the other side. Then there's an area right, so my ribs are here. So right underneath the beginning area center of your, right underneath your chest plate. You're going to push here and pump here a little bit. Then you're going to move clockwise along your stomach, massaging, right? If you want some sculpting action, do some sculpting along here to help push the fluids down into the terminals. Then in your groin area, so the front of your groin area and in between your thighs, that groin area. Then beneath the pockets of your knees, right? So gentle massaging with slight pressure, and what I do after as well, you're going to cup. You're not slapping with a flat hand. You're cupping, so it's more the pressure of the air. And you're going to pat the same areas that you massaged. So here, underneath your armpit, here, and also help circulation, because I know that doing this is helpful for like people if they think they're going to have a heart attack or a stroke or something like that. That's one of the kind of 911 moves. So doing that regularly, again, something very good to help maintain your circulation. So that kind of cupping, slapping, not too hard, on those, all the areas that I mentioned. And then you're going to end off with some jumping. You don't have to jump a lot. The more jumping, the better. But a little bit of jumping. And that literally doesn't even take me 2 minutes. Every day, a little 2 minutes. So, detoxing. Recap: body, breath, more intentional inhales, extended exhales, and breath holds. Nature, immersion into nature, listening, paying attention, smelling, feeling, touching. And detoxes: teas, twists, tears, sweating, and your lymphatic system. Mind, self-care. Less screen time. For many reasons. There's so much unpredictable stuff on social media that's very triggering. News related. People faces you don't really want to see. Content that might be triggering, might touch on old wounds or trauma. Also, your eyes focusing on one spot. Your body registers that, like if you're hunting. So it puts you in the fight, flight, alert because you're zoning into one spot. So your body don't know that you're looking at a screen for entertainment. All it knows is the eyes are fixed on one spot and you're going to feel very anxious. It's going to put you into that fight, flight, alert part of your nervous system. So come off your screen, give your eyes a break. Too much blue light is not good. Too much, just... The parents were correct. The phone is a problem. So pockets of no screen time, delaying your screen time on a morning, delaying your screen time before you go to bed, and not using every single pocket that you have of solitude to scroll, and more scroll. Second, for mind, mindful games. So games that you enjoy, that you know gets you focus. So your girl has jumped into Sudoku. You see, me and numbers don't mesh. But I'm trying to heal that. I'm trying to heal it within me. So I'm trying to desensitize myself to numbers. So I've started Sudoku. Before, I'm still a crossword girly. But like Candy Crush, and even you guys with your war games and whatever other games that you all play. Games that take your focus into the present moment. Building a puzzle. Activities, so like knitting, sewing, making something, jewelry making, crafting, drawing, trying to trace something that you're looking at. Any type of mindful game, those are really good. Again, it takes your mind on one thing versus a million things. And lastly, for mind, stillness and slowness. In this day and age, where we do everything, like if there's a timer on it, you're cooking and you're rushing to cook. You're eating, you're rushing to eat. You're doing your makeup, you're rushing to do your makeup. You're cleaning, you're rushing to do that. You're bathing, you're rushing while you're doing that. You're brushing your teeth, you're rushing while you're doing that. Everything that we do it on unnecessary sense of urgency. So, slowing down. Noticing when you're doing something and you actually don't have a timer. And you're actually not like, there's no need to rush it. Taking your time. You don't have to cut things so fast. You can take your time while you're cooking. You can take your time while you're cleaning. You can take your time while you're writing. Yeah? Take your time while you're talking. Slowness. And stillness. And with that, low stimulation. So there was this really new thing that I started. I'm like 2 days into it and I love it. I saw somebody post about like a dark shower. So like bathing in darkness. Me I bathe in no full darkness. Me about our life. But I take off the bathroom light and I have the lights coming in from outside in the living room, and I'll keep the door open. So there's still light. I can still see what I'm doing. But I don't have the bright light in the bathroom. And as you know, when you kill one sense, the rest of the senses kind of ramp up. So like I felt my warm water even more. I could smell my lavender soap that I use in the night even more. So low stimulation. So dim lighting, low down the volume. You don't need to have a show going and you're scrolling on your phone and you're trying to have a conversation. Pockets of low stimulation. Where you go, you know what? I'm actually going to drive without music. I'm going to choose a book instead of a movie. I'm going to have a meal without a screen. Right? So stillness, slowness, and low stimulation. And last but not least, our soul. There's our soul. There's something there that's actually making it all happen. Yeah? The soul, you want to think about your faith and your peace. Anything like that. Right? And also your purpose. That kind of ties into what this whole thing is about. So 3 things for soul. Actually put 4 things because I feel like this is such a neglected part of us. Authentic prayer. Authentic. Not what your mommy used to do and what your daddy used to do and what your grandparents used to do and what everybody else tell you is the only way to connect to God. How they feel the presence of God and connect to God might look very different for you. And using their methods might not bring you into such connection that other methods can you do. Find what your authentic prayer looks like. Is it reciting prayers? Are you reciting prayers and just reciting it while your mind thinking about something else? Or are you actually focusing on every sentence and word that you're saying and the meaning behind it? Prayer is also just talking to God. God, there's already going on in my life. What do you have to say about this? Because, I feel X, Y, and Z. And just having conversations like if it's a friend. God is a friend. You can also do like gratitude lists. So where you list things that you're grateful for and just appreciate the blessings that we have. So often we get so caught up in focusing on stress that we forget that at any point in time, there's a whole long list. So often we are so focused on all the stress that's going on in our life that we forget that there's always something to be grateful for. You sat down in traffic, but you had a car. You don't like your boss, but you have a job, and at some point you prayed for that job. You didn't cook the meal the way you wanted to, but you have food. You're stressed out, but you have 2 eyes that working. Your spine working. You have both hands. You have all your fingers. There's always something to be grateful for. So making gratitude lists. So make prayers also listening to a gospel song or listening to a sermon. And some people feel more connected to God when they go to church or when they go to their mosque, when they go to their religious institution, right? So you connect to God authentically, but connect to God, right? So more authentic prayer and making sure that you're aiming for not a day to go by without touching base with God. Yeah. Secondly, soul care is learning about your family, learning about your ancestors, learning about the trauma that transferred in your generation. There's scientific proof behind the epigenetic transfer of trauma. The trauma that your grandmother had was experienced by your mother. That was an egg in her body. And your mother's egg also had you in that egg. So you experienced every experience. You experienced everything that every experience your mother had when she was pregnant with you. If you're a woman, you have to be mindful of what were the experiences, challenges, cycles, curses, all of those similar terminologies that the women in your family experience. What happened? What are the generational cycles, curses, repeated patterns, unhealthy coping mechanisms, struggles, personality traits on your maternal side and on your paternal side? Ask the questions, have the conversations. Even if your father don't want to talk about certain things and he not ready to talk about it, maybe one of his siblings could give you a little perspective. Or maybe one of your grandparents, or maybe one of your mom's friends that might be willing to give you a little piece of the puzzle. But it's really important to figure out and understand what happened in your family. What were the experiences? Was there abuse? Unhealthy coping? Silence? Secret keeping? So it's not just understanding like the genetic code and what were the illnesses and what are the things that you have a high chance catching, etc. This is about trauma and about experiences. So understanding your ancestral line, and it helps point you to what you might be struggling with and also the things that you need to break in your family. Yeah, so understanding your family and your family history is important. And second to last for soul, nostalgia. Nostalgic things. So your nostalgic movies, your favorite childhood teenage songs, your favorite childhood teenage movies, your favorite childhood teenage snacks or spots, or your favorite childhood friend. Connecting with these things brings you back to a place psychologically where life was a lot easier and more peaceful, and it has an impact on your level of peace and brings your body into calm, right? So nostalgic things, identify what those nostalgic drinks and foods and songs and shows and movies and places and experiences are, and tapping back into those things. And lastly, having fun. We are adults and we need to have fun. Something happened as we got older, and all the things that we did when we were younger that brought us joy, we assume wasn't age appropriate anymore, and we stopped doing it. And now we want to know why we're so unhappy and heavy. Fun. We don't have to, not everything we do has to be super productive. Not everything we do has to be income earning. Not everything we do has to be the best use of our time. Go and learn a sport. Go and have fun. Go and run in the rain. Laugh until you cry. Just try something new. Be willing to be a newbie at something and catch kicks when it is you can't catch. You can't do the activity, or you can't get the thing, Just have fun. And if you're someone that has a difficulty having fun, you must know somebody that is a good person that can help you have some fun, right? So having fun is very good for your soul. Brings some joy and creates pockets of joy that we need. Yeah? So those are all the key self-care habits for your body, mind, and soul that I think we don't often consider and think about. As I said, we know the gym. We know those things. Our last episode spoke about 3 keys for mental health, and we spoke about nutrition. We spoke about movements. Like, those are key foundational things that we need. But just to widen your perspective, I wanted to give you all a couple more options. To end off, I want to give you all simple tips to bring more self-care into your routine. Firstly, pre-plan your week. You are not going to just by chance do something fun. By chance, take care of your body. By chance, take care of your mind. We just run from responsibility to responsibility, to thing to thing. We start the day over and we go again. We have to pre-plan our week, pre-plan our month. Book your little gym sessions, your stretching sessions, a one friend date, a solo date. Book it, find the pockets of time, and stop canceling it. It's one thing to book it, but it's another thing when it comes up and your mind starts to rationalize why it's not that important. Or when Tanty Joan called for a favor and the pocket that she asking for was the pocket that you decided to use as a slow morning to pray and write and make breakfast for yourself, and you go, and let me forget about my needs and take care of Tanty Joan on. We could take care of Tanty Joan on another time. Offer Tanty Joan another opportunity. Alright, tell her I can't do it then. But I could probably do it Saturday morning or Sunday morning. You let me know which one works for you. But stop canceling your pockets. So pre-plan them and maintain boundaries around them. Second tip, choose intentional habits for your morning and for your evening time, for when you wake up and when you're about to go to sleep. If you are a routine person, then create a routine, and routines don't have to be very long. But I'm not too much of a routine person because my days change so much. Some days I have a slow morning, some days I have an early morning. So I can't have this strict morning routine because not every morning I'm going to be able to do it. Sometimes I reach home and I have the energy to do something, and sometimes I don't have much energy. So I don't have routines. I have more like habits that I do every night and I do every morning in different orders and a different duration. So like I said, on a morning, one habit I do every morning is that lymphatic massage. Quick thing, takes me 2 minutes before I finish, take a bath. That's my routine. Every single morning I will do that. And in the night, I will always have a cup of tea. And it's always like a calming type of cup of tea, right? So not every night I'm going to journal. Not every night I pick up a book to read. Those are different options that I will have here and there. So let's say like minimum 3 nights of the week, I will read a little something before I go to sleep. But not every night. Yes, some nights I scroll. I regret it because I wake up the next morning and my eyes are bloodshot and I'm tired. And I look at the time going by and I'm like, Brittney, you are doing exactly what you tell people not to do. But you know, I'm a human, right? We therapists are humans as well. So have strict habits that you do every morning and that you do every night that could be flexible and move. And again, if you are someone that has a very set structure as to what time you leave home and what time you come home, then that opens up the possibility for a routine. Something else I do in the night, I will always use like calming lavender soap and like sleepy cream and those kind of things. And every night I will cream my feet. Not every night I'll massage my feet. Some nights I'll massage my feet, some nights I wouldn't. But every night I'll cream my feet, right? And I'll also put on dim lights in the night. So different little habits. So little morning habits and night habits help you. And lastly, balance, self-accountability, and self-compassion. Don't let your self-care routines be another area for your negative self-talk and harsh critical self-talk to come in. Yes, you want to work out every single night. But if you know you had a long day, you did not have a good sleep the night before, do not push yourself to go and do a high intensity workout if you know that's not what your body needs at that moment. Practice asking yourself, what do I need right now? Because you are a different person every single day and you're a different person every single month. So what might work sometimes might not work the other times. And what might help you regulate sometimes might actually spike your anxiety and stress another time. So tune into yourself. What do I need right now? Is it that I have the time, I came home with enough time, but I don't want to go for a walk, but I need the walk? You're practicing self-accountability and self-discipline. No, Brittney, go and take your walk. You know you need to take your walk. There's not up for negotiation. But you had a long day. Is the couple days before your period. And when you ask yourself if what I need right now, is it to go to gym? Or is it to just go on my floor and stretch a little bit? Or you know what? I don't want to move right now. I'll move tomorrow. I just want to cuddle up and watch a show and just use some healthy distractions. And I don't want to have to make this class anymore because I don't really want to drive anymore. So you know what? I'll book the makeup class another time, but I just want to go home early and take an early night. It's a balance between self-accountability, self-discipline, and self-compassion. Self-compassion being giving yourself some acknowledgement for how you're feeling, acknowledging your feelings and doing something to help yourself feel better. And something that's going to help you decide what you need to go with is, again, tuning into yourself. What do I need right now? What does my mind need right now? What does my body need right now? What does my soul need right now? Yeah, and that's going to help you balance that. Don't become very rigid with your self-care, because that defeats the whole purpose. Now we're not listening to our needs and we just stick into routine, when sometimes the reality is a healthy person is a flexible person. Yeah? Okay, that's it for the content for this episode. We are going to end off with our mindful moment. Before we go into that, I'm going to put up some journal prompts like I always do at the end of these episodes. These journal prompts are going to help you, they're journal prompts as well as exercises. And they're things to just help you all reflect on what we've spoken about in this episode, as well as apply what we've spoken about in this episode. So I'm going to put that up now. And now we're going to do our mindful moment as promised to close off. So bring yourself into a seated position, get comfortable. You don't really have to be in a seated position. You could stay lying down as well. Quick reminder, if you are driving, do not do this mindful moment. If you are in a space where you need your attention in your surroundings and you're not in a safe space, do not do this mindful moment. Pause it and come back to it when you're in a safer space. For those that are in a space that they can do this little mini mindful moment, we're going to start off simple. I want you all to list 3 things that you are grateful for your mind, regarding your mind. So I'm going to say 1, and then I'm going to ask you to pause, come up with your other 3, and we're going to go down like that, right? So first thing, one thing that I'm grateful for my mind is my memory. I'm so grateful that I have all the parts of my brain that help me maintain my memory. It's as simple as one little incident, accident, and I headbutt somewhere, and I could lose my memory. So I am grateful for my memory, and I take great care of it with Ginkgo. What are 3 things that you are grateful for your mind? Take a pause. Great job. Now, what are 3 things that you are grateful for regarding your body? Any 3 things at all? My one thing is I am grateful for my voice. I don't know what it is I've been thinking about lately. As get real deeper, as get real deep. And like my tonsils was a little swollen what it was. And I went into this like thought spiral of, oh my God, imagine if something happens to my voice. Like, what is going to happen? Because I guide meditations. I'm a therapist. What is life going to look like? So I am very grateful for my voice. So what are 3 things that you are grateful for regarding your body? Take a pause and answer that. Fantastic. Now, what are 3 things that you are grateful for regarding your soul? So your peace, your faith, your purpose. For me, I am grateful that I was born into a family that taught me about God and taught me how to pray. I'm grateful that I went into schools, different religions, because I think my primary school was a Christian school, and then my secondary school was a Roman Catholic school. So I'm real grateful that I had that exposure, because there's some people that don't have a faith because they weren't born into a family that was a prayerful, that they didn't have a prayerful mother like I did. And I didn't have schools that taught them prayers, so I'm real grateful for my childhood that exposed me to the understanding of God. And I'm also real grateful for my grandfather who further exposed me to the life of Jesus and the books that were in the Bible, that were removed from the Bible, that were written by the other disciples, and these other things that help you give more puzzle pieces to the whole picture of everything. I'm grateful for the people that I meet from different religions, because I have I have Hindu clients, I have Muslim clients, and they teach me so much as well. when they talk about their faith and their practices and their teachings. I'm grateful that I am open-minded enough that I don't think listening to other religions is a taboo thing, because everybody has a piece of the puzzle. So anyway, I just rambled on. What are 3 things that you are grateful for regarding your soul, so your faith, your purpose, and your peace? Think about that. Take a pause. And lastly, what are 3 things you are grateful for regarding this past 2025 year? Any 3 things you're grateful for? For me, I am grateful for setting a goal and seeing it come to life. This giveaway is so beautiful. I am so grateful for every company, every business, every person that saw it important enough to do their part in supporting mental health and self-care, and all the amazing gifts that we have. And I'm so grateful for these 3 winners, because there's going to be 3 winners, a male, a female, and a random other person, male or female. And I'm real grateful for seeing it come to life. I'm also really grateful for getting an assistant this year. That was another goal that I set. And I know that I would have never been able to pull off this sponsorship, pool engagement, and all of these things if it was just me. I would not have been able to. It would have been too much. So I'm real grateful for goals that were set and accomplished. What are 3 things that you are grateful for your 2025? Take a pause and answer. And the last little part of this mindful moment, let's take 3 cleansing breaths. Cleansing breaths are inhales in through your nose, inflating your belly nice and big, and loud, powerful, and even noisy exhales. So I'm going to give a few examples of it before we go through our 3. It's going to look like or yeah, whatever is your vibe. So we're going to do 6 of those, not 3 of those. We're going to do 6. So let's do it together. Exhale wherever you are. Inhale through your nose into your belly. Exhale. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale. Powerful and loud. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Last one. And that's it for this episode. Thank you all so much for being a part of this episode and being a part of season 1, the Safe Zone podcast. This is yet again another goal that I set and I'm so grateful for. I'm grateful for every listener. I'm grateful for every person that took a moment to tell me that they enjoy the podcast. Feedback I've heard so far is that Trinities love hearing another Trini voice. That they're getting actual tools that help them, and aha moments, things that they, one-liners that they're able to share with their friends and families that help them. And I've just gotten so much feedback and so much support, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you all. Seriously, I doubt myself sometimes. Not all the time, because I've worked on it. I don't doubt myself as much as I used to before. But sometimes it's creeping here and there. And I'm real grateful for every person that listened, every person that commented, every person that shared this, any person that gave me feedback, or even if you've never given me feedback at all and you just listen and you watch on your own, I'm grateful for you. Again, a reminder, if you are listening to this podcast before the 19th of December 2025, go and sign up for the giveaway. Go and like the post. Go and I'm going to link the post. I should do that. I should link the post in the caption. Hopefully I remember. Go and like the post. Go and follow the page, as well as any 3 of the other sponsors. They are tagged as well as listed in the caption. And if you want additional entries, reshare the post on your Instagram story and or comment your favorite self-care habits underneath that post. Best of luck to each and every one of you. I hope you all have a great Christmas, a great end of your year, a great end of this year, and a great start to your new year. This is not the time to think about all the things you did not accomplish. This is the time to think about all the things you did accomplish, all the things you did survive, and all the things you showed up for. Be proud of yourself. Allow yourself rest as we go into this end of year. And I will see you here next year. Our first episode of season 2 is going to be in February, not in January, in February. So I will see you then. As usual, if you have any recommendations for topics or tools, anything like that you want me to talk about, let me know. I will be more than happy to give you guys what you want. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Check us out on Spotify as well as YouTube. And I will see you guys next year. Bye, everyone.